Welcome, ghouls, ghoulettes, and guesties to GonstFM Off Air, the official podcast companion to 66.6 GonstFM, the internet radio station dedicated to the band Ghost and the wider Gonst community. I'm Papa X.
And I'm Uncle Ghoul.
And today, we are bringing you our version, because we've seen a lot of people out there that are doing this, but like we have two different experiences in two different cities. We're going to be talking about Skeletour. It is a Skeletour review episode. We want to talk about our experiences with each other's ritual because, Anthony, you did the VIP, and
Yep.
I actually had better seats than the last time I saw Ghost. I didn't do VIP on this one. I wanted a good set of like front row seats in the section I was in because I wanted to sit and enjoy it. You know, I didn't want to feel rushed.
Yeah.
I get high anxiety when I go to concerts sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, I have to get there really early so that I can just relax. Because if I feel like if I'm any kind of late, I'm like, shit. You know, it'll throw my whole day off.
I'm the same way. We'll get into it, but we got a hotel the night before and the night of to make sure that we weren't late because it's like two and a half hours away from where we live. And I wasn't going to be rushing to get there the day of. So I could just, meander on over day of. But yeah, when we get into talking about the experience, VIP has its perks for sure, but it's not a perfect situation. I really enjoyed my experience, but I'm still overall more critical than complimentary overall. I think
right.
It's worth it, but I don't know if as you mentioned, this added stress, I don't know if it's worth it,
Yeah.
At least for the package I did, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. So when this tour got announced last November, it was like pandemonium, shit, let's get our stuff in, right? And, we had obviously a ton of different VIP package options. And then, of course, the Ghost Willy Wonka golden ticket. That's what I'm calling it. The fucking Ghost Willy Wonka golden ticket, where if you paid $1,666 and some change, you could go to every Ghost show on the tour in North America or in Europe or wherever.
I want to, actually, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about it. I went into this tour, like a lot of people, very kind of conflicted. And then this isn't about the no phones thing. It's about the VIP packages. Because I think you have to talk about the packages and what they are. Because it really shaped my experience on why I bit the bullet and did it. Because I wasn't going to do VIP. I had felt personally that for a while, the VIP hadn't been what it used to be.
Right.
As they got bigger, the prices went up, but the packages
got smaller.
Didn't. Yeah. And I actually have a really good example of this because I pulled it up today because I was discussing this with some friends. In 2022, when I did the meet and greet with Papa 4 for Imperator with Mastodon, I paid $409 for my top tier VIP. The top tier VIP for this tour, which didn't include a meet and greet or a signed photo or any of that, or nearly as much merchandise, was almost $800.
God damn.
And when I think of it in that terms of 2022 to 2025, the top tier used to be $400. Now it's almost $800, almost $400 more. And while it's still cool experiences, you get a water bottle and a lanyard in the early entry. I was just like, I don't know if I can justify that in my head, get over that mental hump of that big of a price,
Oh my God. I am never going to financially recover from this.
That's what we were all thinking when we saw these fucking price points, dude.
It's like, dude, all right. Okay, I see where you're at now. This is not the same band that, I saw for $40 in the theater. This is going to cost me an arm and a leg, Yeah. And then I'm going with my wife, so that's going to be two of us, right? So I didn't opt for that package. What I did was I got the cheapest package that I could get, the cheapest VIP level that was just early entry, because I was really interested in the numbered wristbands, because being disabled, I have a bad knee and I can't stand all day. And I was like, if I can leave and come back and still be able to get, because I would be perfectly content never doing pit again, right? I've done it a bunch of times. I've done VIP. I've been lucky to do VIP 6 times for Ghost over different tours and get Barricade and all that. And I'm content not letting other people do it. My wife, however, has never done it before. And I was like, well, if you really want, that's an experience you should have. And so I was like, I'm going to get some VIP pit ticket to say we did it, and did it together. And so I got the cheapest one, which was I think $325. And even then, that, which just included a water bottle and early entry, no museum, none of the other stuff, was only, I think, $30 more than the meet and greet I paid for a couple years ago. And I was just like, the mental block of that still kind of soured me going in. So like I bring that up to kind of put like the perspective of where I was mindset wise going into the tour. Was like, I'm so excited for this tour, but at the same time I was like, one VIP merch item for that amount of money, it better be good. So I kind of went in with low expectations.
Yeah, I get that. And I know a ton of people that went in with very high expectations for it. And at the same time, like, I understand because, let's be honest, it feels like, and this is just my opinion, having been an outsider watching people that did the VIP stuff from like even as far back as in like 2016 and shit like that, where I've seen people that were like, oh, here's the items I got for, the VIP when I went to go to the Black to the Future tour, or here's the stuff I got whenever I saw Pale Tour Named Death, and here's the stuff I got for Imperator. And it's like, fuck yeah, you guys got cool shit. So of course, like whenever they're like, oh, VIP, like most people aren't going to like read much of the fine detail when it comes to that, which I get, because excitement fucking, you get fucking excitement brain and it takes over and you just kind of gung ho into it. Dude, once the details for that came out, I was like, hey, what? Like, for me, like, I didn't even, that wasn't even going to do it, because I just wanted to go see the band. I just want to go see the, the concert, but I'm looking, and I have like all my friends that are going. I'm like, God damn, like, I hope it's worth it, and it's not me being like, well, I fucking hope you fucking worth it. You paid money. No, I was hoping that like for them, for that individual person, that this was everything to them. I hoped it was like something that they really enjoyed, because I knew a lot of people that went to past ones, and oh my God, the uproar was unfucking real. But I totally get it. It's very valid, all things considered.
I look at, I did VIP on Black to the Future, Popestar, Pale Tour Named Death, Ultimate Tour Named Death, Imperator, right? Like all those tours. And all of those, I noticed specifically, like, for Re-Imperator, I didn't do VIP. The reason I didn't was because I noticed that most of the items for the VIP package were paper, or printed things, a signed photo. Like some tiers didn't get the signed photo, and others, did, but like a prayer card, a lot of it was printed stuff, as opposed to like before we got a signed vinyl and a puzzle and a poster, a lithograph, like, numbered lithograph, like cool stuff, And I was like, I can't justify the prices for that. What I think is disappointing, and I think is important to bring up because they're asking for feedback, is that the bottom tier VIP package for this tour, which is like $330, is the exact same package minus the tour of the museum or the Veneration of Relics that they had 3 tours ago. That was only $150, and it's now almost $400.
Yeah.
So like that, to me, I would love for them to justify what caused, and I know industry, like in inflation, a lot can change. But for it to go that much without like a discount code to the website, for the merch store, or like, I don't know, the top tier members of the clergy later on got a signed art card. If you did the banquet record cards, like maybe throw one of those in, or like, I don't know, a plushie or something, at $300 and something. So I've heard that, and I've heard that from a lot of people. It's just like, VIP is not all what it's cracked up to be, but I've heard from some people that it was just the best experience, and it depends on what you want to get out of it,
Yeah.
If you are willing to pay that much money, you're paying for the spot you're getting in the pit. You're not paying for the merchandise or things, like it's just an added bonus. But what you're paying for is the Apostles Center Barricade, or the other ones, first to second row, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what you're paying for. And if it's worth it for you, which I've heard from a lot of people who it was their first tour, especially, that it was absolutely worth it. Awesome. More power. Like, that's awesome. I personally, with my experience, had a great time, but I don't know if it was worth $300 for that, when I saw people who got GA who were able to get like right behind where I was.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw. It truly is the luck of the draw. And it doesn't matter how much money you pay. Yep. Right place, right time.
It's how small you are, where you like it all, a lot of things. There's factors to all of it,
Yeah.
And so, point of that whole rant was that like the grass isn't always greener. So like, I know a lot of people were like, I didn't get VIP. Did I miss out on experience? I don't think so. It depends on really what you want to get. Like, so, as we go to the next tour, because there will be another tour, keep it in mind, is like, it's not always like, it depends on what you want out of it,
Yeah, it feels like Skeletour was which is weird to say this, considering this band has been doing this stuff for 15 years now. It's so fucking weird to think that Ghost has been around for 15 years. this felt like a trial run for certain things. This was a trial run for the phones free experience. This was probably a trial run for, hey, how, like I hate saying this, but it was probably a trial run of like how little can we
get away with?
Yeah,
People be okay with it.
Yeah, can we do the bare minimum?
It's a new company too.
Yeah,
you know? And that new company, if you look at their website, what they have, this is typical for them for Metallica. Same with the Yeti water bottle and the lanyard. Like all of this is the same package they offer for all of their artists, just with Ghost's names on it. So like it's nothing unique really to Ghost. It's all their own packages that they do. So like that whole thing has to be like, I don't think it was a conscious fuck you to anyone. It's just like that's how We Are Super runs things versus Future Beat. It's a different company and they do things differently.
Yeah.
A lot of things are new, as you mentioned, you know, it's a trial run of like, let's just use our generic packages we have and, you know, see if people like them, you know, and hopefully they take feedback because I know a lot of people were unhappy with that, but.
Right. And I can tell you right now, if it were me running the show, listen to the majority of these people. Definitely listen to the majority of these people. They were super unhappy considering, you know, and again, this isn't all going to be like a negative thing. Like just to throw that out there, there's a ton of positives to this tour. And
I wanted to get the one thing out of the way because I realize that we have to some extent a platform here and I want to urge anyone who was disappointed or wanted more, even if you had a great time, to use your voice that you have while these surveys are being asked for in these coming months of how it was, to say, for the amount of money we're paying, what do you want? Like, we should get a little bit more. I understand no meet and greets, I understand that, but like, we've shown before that as a fandom, we can come together and make change with things.
Yeah.
And if we voice this stuff, we can get better, you know?
Right. Like, I feel, and this is just me spitballing here, like, I feel like with certain tiers, like, if there's 3 tiers where, like, say like the most expensive tier, they do bring back, like, an autograph, like, photo of, like, Perpetua, or it's like, oh, we're gonna do like I don't know, meet and greet with like, and it could be any nameless ghoul. It could be like you can have a meet and greet with, and it could be probably somebody in a nameless, or
even just like a VR Q&A on the screen, you know, or something like, I don't know, like, or like a quick appearance from the band. Like, there's options of like, I would accept for like the package I got was Ascended, right? The bottom tier package. It was like $320. For that, maybe give us like a $50 off coupon to the web store.
That's what I was getting at. I was like, you could do
throw
like
a plushie in there.
Yeah, like you could get like a specific high dollar item for free with your like package. Like if it's like the second tier package,
copy of the new album, copy of Skeletour.
Right, copy of the album and like a hoodie or like, you know, like one of the premium tees. You know what I'm talking, like the At the Gates tee that was like the tie-dye one or whatever. Like something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Or like if they don't want you to do like meet and greet, hey man, high-end VIP, sit in for sound check. Yeah, you could sit.
Absolutely. You know, Kiss does that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, you know, like something, or even like I would be like, come see the costumes, you know, like not just the old ones, but like see them up close, like see, you know, the robes on a display. Like, I don't know. I'm just totally spitballing, but I've put a lot of thought into like things you could do. Like give us the Frotzer plushie, you know, everyone get the Frot, or at the very least for the bottom tier VIP, let all tiers get the museum. I don't think it would be a lot of like, I don't know why the bottom tier doesn't get the museum. This is the one tour they've done where the bottom tier did not get the museum.
I'm not going to lie. I've gotten mixed feedback from my friends and people that did the museum. There's friends of mine that were like, oh, this was really great. And then I've had other friends where they were like, what the fuck is this? Like I literally...
I'm on the latter. I haven't seen this particular one. I've seen the photos of it, but I don't feel like it has updated much from what it was. And also it doesn't help that they put high quality images of all of it online ahead of time on the website to where it's like, where's the exclusivity of this, you know?
Yeah.
And I've seen some of them outside in like the heat where I'm sure it's damaging to the costumes and stuff. And just like, it can't be nice to walk around. Like, I think it was San Diego was outdoors.
Shit.
Like not under a tent or anything. And it was just like, also not the last of the negative things. I feel like I'm harping on this, but like the venue staff also in the VIP team I've seen from multiple people are never on the same team, like side of like what's going on. Yeah. And there's like, what time do you show up? But like, it needs to be better organized.
Yeah. Dude,
it's turned into Uncle Ghoul tirades against the VIP system. But like, I do think it's important of like, you know, before we get to all the great stuff, is like, hopefully that changes.
I just pictured Papa One in the glass casket in the heat of San Diego melting even more than he's already fucking melted. He just looks like
I can't imagine it's doing good things to the costumes.
He
to be out in the
looks
heat
like
in a glass.
his face mask just looks like a chocolate vanilla swirl at this point.
Soup.
Yeah, it's good soup.
Into soup. Full circle.
He has become soup. Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird, like, sort of tangent, but I did VIP for Blink-182. And I will say that was rough too. Like, so it's not necessarily just Ghost problem. That was just a tent where they got DoorDash from Bear's Smokehouse for everyone, and they had like frisbee and a couple of cases of like Mark's Old Base and stuff. And like friendship bracelets for everyone to make in a tent. And that was like $700 too.
God damn.
And that like also had like we were like the first seater row behind a pit. So it's like, it's like, I don't know. It might be just an issue with VIP packages, but I have seen some bands with like really good values for VIP, you know? So it's like in arenas. So it is definitely doable. Maybe don't spend the money on the inflatable and spend it on like adding another merchandise item for the VIPs. Yeah, that's my final word on that.
Yeah, because let's be honest, man. As funny as the Papa 5 Perpetua inflatable was, oh my God, you can see where they shitty like Photoshop job cropping the crucifixes that go up and down the suit. And
I didn't even get to see it in person because they couldn't put it up at our show.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into like all this shit, right? So Anthony, you went to Boston, like you went to the Boston one. Okay, so everybody out there that is listening, this is true. Some cities did not get the inflatables, and some cities didn't get certain experiences. Chicago didn't even get a fucking GTV episode because they would not allow them to fucking film anything.
We weren't far off from that. We did get one. We'll get into that because I was luckily heavily featured in that, and that's a really fun story. But there was a lot of limitations from the venue.
Yeah, and we'll get into mine. Like as of this recording, because
you were too.
Yeah, well, the Houston, Texas one has not aired yet, and I don't know if
if you made it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm probably going to be at least in the intro, because there's an intro, and then I actually got asked to be in. Thank you, Vanessa, for this, by the way. It was funny. She just looks over, and they had everybody gathered up, and she just kind of does a double take it because I'm wearing my fucking face paint or whatever, and she just looks over and she goes, "Oh." And she snaps her fingers and points. She goes, "And that gentleman right over there, you, sir, in the shot." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." Like it was funny. So I got to do the "Welcome to Houston, Papa" like line with the little crowd of people there. I'm probably the oldest one in the fucking crowd. God, I felt so out of place. I'm not gonna lie, dude. But so anyway, Boston. Let's get into Boston.
Okay, start there.
Yeah, Boston
was interesting. So I want to start actually talking about and give a shout out here. We had a meetup the day before. So for us, the virtual experience started the whole day before on Sunday, where we met up with some friends. We were sharing a hotel with a couple of friends. We shared a hotel with our friend TL, who came in. So that was awesome. So funny enough, our hotel we were staying at in Boston was the Moxie downtown, and probably 5 feet down the road is the Lang Theater, which is the funniest name for a theater. And that theater is where I saw Ghost on Pale Torn Named Death. And I did not know this when I booked the hotel. And so I arrived at the hotel and I was like, wait a minute, that was the Starbucks that I waited in for this. And I got up and it was just like this hit of nostalgia of like almost full circle of like seeing Ghost in the biggest arena in the area. And right there is the theater that I had saw them in last time they were in Boston. Because I've seen them other times in like around Massachusetts, New England, but not in Boston. So it was just kind of cool. And so that day we met up with them and a bunch of other people who we had a chat with, some really awesome artists and cosplayers and stuff who were there. So our friend Darcy was there, and we met up at this restaurant, Tavern on the Square.
And on the level.
Yes. I didn't even think of that. We were calling it Tits because if you would identify. So we had the little stickers that says Skeletits.
Skeletits.
And we had a Ghost meetup. I want to like shout out everyone who was there actually because you guys were amazing. So yeah, my wife Allison was there. Taylor, Darcy, Leah, Lemmy, Abby. If I forget anyone, I'm sorry. But we had a whole group of people, and everyone was amazing. Like we got in this restaurant, and everyone had brought gifts for people. You know, everyone brought their families and their friends, and I got this amazing little name tag that said Uncle Ghoul, co-host of GonstFM, and Lemmy, who everyone should check out, Lemmy Lem on Instagram, TikTok, everything. Great pop of stickers and art. And I got a whole sticker pack of all the ritual stickers they had made from the rituals. They got me some cool Kiss collectibles from a shop that they had went to, like a Gene Simmons statue and stuff. And it was awesome. And then we took a group photo. So it really got kind of the vibe started ahead of time of like, all right, cool. All these people who we've met online through Ghost are together in one room. And we were just talking about the experiences and waiting about tomorrow. So it got us really hyped. And then there was this awful thunderstorm. So we all went back to the hotel and just kind of talked about the tour and everything. And then we got up because we knew we had to get up the next morning for VIP at 5:30. We had to get there at 5:30 because we were intending on, like, we just knew people were getting there at 6 around that time to line up, which I think is crazy. Like on my own. And I know we've talked about that before,
bro. Yeah, I remember I texted you.
I was like, this is what I'm going to have to do. It's like,
yeah, I remember I texted you that morning, the morning of my ritual. I was like, dude, what was it, like 6 o'clock in the morning?
It was 3 a.m. at the show you were going to. I saw people lined up even earlier than normal.
Dude, that's why I was everybody. I was texting Anthony because like I woke up and I was like I was excited. I was like a kid on Christmas, you know. It just hits ritual morning every time it fucking hits. And I was like, bro, hey. And he's like, what's up, man? And I was like, hey, so is it normal to like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning? Like, people are already out there. It's not even daybreak yet. And dude, Ant fucking texts me. He goes, what? Just what? It's like, yeah, because this is coming from two people that are used to like showing up early for shit, period. I was like, that's fucking dedication. Like, god damn.
Mm-hmm. More power to you. You couldn't catch me doing that. But anyways, we drove over. And it was me, Darcy, and TL, and Allison. And we got there, and this is where things immediately start to go wrong. And things go really wrong before they go better. If you've ever done VIP for Ghost, this tour, they give you a pin about the day before or so that tells you where you want to be, where you're going to be lining up, and where like the meetup spot is. And the pin they gave was not the location it was supposed to be. So we had scouted out days before where that was and like planned this whole thing. We get over there and we're like, great, awesome. No one's here. No one's at the venue. We got our coffee. We got a whole group of us, Lemmy, TL, Darcy, all of us. And me, my wife and I, we showed up, we got our coffee, and we got an email the day before from TD Garden saying, hey, no queuing allowed. Like, no one's allowed to line up at all. You can show up at 12 p.m., get a wristband, and then leave until 4. And I was like, well, that's a fucking... Everyone's just going to bum rush the place at 12. And so I was like, no, fuck that. We're going to still show up and stay off property, but close enough to where we can see the point where we're supposed to like look, so that whenever we see the person with the wristbands or a line starting to form, we can be there. So we're not going to get, because we really wanted to try and get as close as possible so that we could hopefully have like a barricade to rest on or something. And so we're there and we're waiting, and people keep coming up to us being, this is the line. I'm like, yep, this is where it says to meet up for. This is the line. And so we're waiting here. And then more and more people are coming, and someone comes over and says, you guys lined up here? And we said, yep, this is where we've been lined up since 5:30. At this point, it's probably 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7. And they go, oh, because there's another line on the other side of the building. And we go, well, this is where the pin is supposed to be. And we look at this thing, the email, and they're like, oh, interesting, because there's a bunch of people lined up over there. Well, so I said, I'm going to go send my partner over to go scout out that area. And they went over and scout out, and they came back, and they're like, according to the venue, that's where you're supposed to be, is the other side of the building. And we were like, all right. And so we did some like digging and looked, and sure enough, that it's been updated. That's where it's supposed to be. The pin, the map that they sent for the pin is from like before renovations to the building.
Oh my God.
And so we're just like, all right, so we got here at 5:30. It's now 7 o'clock. We've been waiting in this line. We could have been the first people, but because the pin was wrong, we were not. There's 6 people in front of us, which is like no big deal, 6 people, but still, when it's annoying enough to like that early to be pissed off. And so we're like, great, cool. So we walk over, we get in that area, and we're 6 behind this, and I'll speed this up because this is a long part of this. But security comes out and they're like, hey guys, you guys cannot line up here. There's no queuing allowed. And so the people behind us are like, or in front of us are like, okay, everyone, let's just go outside and we'll line up again in the same order we're in. And we do this, we line up outside. Then a cop comes up and he's like, hey guys, did they tell you to be here? And we were like, yep. And they're like, we told them like there's no queuing allowed inside is what they told us. Like, and that's what the email said. And he goes, oh, that's really interesting because like people were queuing up for Wu-Tang Clan last night and like people were queuing up for other things. Like that doesn't sound right. We showed him the email. Sure enough, no queuing allowed. And the venue staff is kicking us out. So he's like, all right, do me a favor. Like, this is federal property. Can you just move on the other side of this barricade here? That was like set up. And we were like, all right. So again, relining up again. And this time someone had a smart idea of marking everyone's hands with a Sharpie in numbers of our own way. So when we had to in case we had to keep moving, we could keep the order that we had. And so we did that. We probably moved 2 or 3 more times after that. And every time a cop would come over, a police officer or a security guard, we'd be like, oh, here we go again. They just really didn't want people lining up. And eventually we found a spot we kind of settled into and a bunch of people showed up. And shout out to this one guy who was coming around with a bag of oranges and gave everyone an orange because we were all out there not eating whatever. And just like, you know, I'll never forget whoever this was. If you're out there listening, he gave everyone in the line. He went into the store and bought a bag of oranges, like a big bag of oranges, and gave everyone an orange and then came back and took the peels. And it was
oh my God.
The most random, weird, like, you know, but like, act of kindness that was appreciated.
That's fucking great, actually. that's
yeah, and
that's wholesome as fuck.
It is, you know. And all day, I had GonstFM stickers, and I was handing them out, and it was really awesome to meet so many listeners of the show who was like, "Oh, I just listened to this interview you guys did, or this episode, and I really liked it," or you know, we're talking about it, and that felt really good. So I appreciate anyone who did that, and also people who I met there who were like, "Oh, I will go check it out right now," or follow. I'll go check it out.
Yeah, that happened at my ritual too, and it was pretty amazing. Like I enjoyed interacting with people that were listeners, and I was like, "Oh, you want a sticker?" Because like I had like my vest pocket or my jacket pocket was full of like stickers and buttons and shit, and they were like, "Oh, cool!" And then like I'd pull the button, I was like, "Oh my God!" Like you. That's fucking awesome. And like they were excited as shit. And it felt good. Like it felt really cool because like that was my bracelet trade. I didn't want anything, but like they were like, "Oh, here's a bracelet. I was like, "Oh, thank you." Like that
was mine too. It was the stickers, and I didn't have bracelets with me or enough, and so I brought a bunch of stickers, and it was great. And
I think what blew my mind the most, and I really mean this like very like legitimately and very humbly because it's a fucking mind blowing kind of experience. Is I had people come up to me that I had no clue who they were. And it's not like, "Oh, I don't fucking know who you are." It's like, I literally didn't know that they knew that I existed. Like, period.
Yeah.
End of story. But they knew who I was, and they knew what I was like. Obviously, there's photos of us on our Instagram handles and stuff.
Yep.
But like, I don't think about shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't think about people that I've never known on the internet or otherwise, like know who I am. And they're like, "Dude, can I get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Yes, you could get a picture with me, of course." And it was like immediately like tag, like, you know, on Instagram. I was like, "That's fucking cool." Like I've never experienced anything like that ever. And it was the coolest fucking thing. So like, absolutely, if you're hearing this, thank you so much for coming to like say hi and talking about the show and like telling me what your favorite episode was or like who you enjoyed hearing us talk to. That was the coolest fucking experience, honestly.
Same for me. Like having people come up and be like, "Hey, I know who you are. You know, can we like take a photo or can you know whatever, just tagging me, taking a sticker, whatever." It was surreal and it felt great. People come, "Oh, Anthony," and I'd be like, "I don't know you, but hi." You know, in random places, like I would be around the city and I'd just be wearing a Ghost shirt the day before, a day of, you know, and get it was crazy. It's the love in you and I have both gone through a lot of in this fandom over the last year of, you know, had our share of criticisms or things from people, and so to feel the love from people at the shows in person was exceptional.
Yeah,
you know, it really made up for it. And I made great friends like the day of. Like shout out to Celine, Ivy, Kat, that whole group. They were awesome. Like so much appreciative for them. Like we all stuck together that whole day, and I really appreciate like all that everyone there did for us and like making sure that we felt comfortable. And that's the kind of thing that I think you probably relate to too, is that like people in person are so like kind, and like you kind of either make you make friends, you know, the day of, like you end up being like, "Cool, we're locked in now, you know, we're gonna be, you know."
Yeah, I've never met a stranger. That's kind of like I don't know if that's just a Southern thing for me, because like you know what I mean. Like I grew up here. I'm a fucking Louisiana native, born, bred, raised, everything here. And, growing up, we talked to everybody. My family was like, they talked to any and everybody. So I guess I have them to thank for that. It's like I've literally never met a stranger in my entire life, and both of my partners are just like, I can't do that shit. Like, I don't know how you do it.
No, that's how my wife says all the time. Is like, you're so much more outgoing than I am, and I was just like, I like doing it. And we were talking to people, and I keep in touch now. My wife said the other day, like, you have so many friends. You have like so many. Like, how many best friends do you have? And I was like, probably a lot, because it's like, you like Ghost, I like Ghost. Cool, we're friends now.
Party.
As simple as that. Yep. Party on, dude. Yep. Yeah. As simple as that. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. I was just saying like, it was a lot.
I thought I interrupted.
No. That's fun to hear. It's cool.
But that was the highlight. Was like that core group of people we had who we met that day. I cannot express how much they saved the experience from like the venue shit show going on. And on top of that, we're supposed to get wristbands at 12. Well, 12 rolls around, then there's no one. We get from security. Oh yeah, Ghost team is not at the venue yet. No trucks are there. No one from the VIP team is there. We have people texting the VIP like call number, being like, "Hey, are you guys coming?" Like 12:15 rolls around, no one's there. 12:30 rolls around, no one's there. No response. Everything's running late. Mind you, we're there since 5:30. It's hot. Someone's up on the roof outside power washing, which is then spraying down on us. And everyone's just like over it. And it's like, I'm starting to think the wristbands don't exist. Come probably around 1 o'clock, 1:15, an hour and a half late or so, they finally show up to give out wristbands. And they're immediately like, the venue won't let us set up any of the signage for VIP, which includes the inflatables or any of that. Like, because it's an active train station attached to the venue, nothing can be set up. And they're like, so we're going to try and figure this out, which is never encouraging words coming from like a coordinator. It's like, I'm going to try and figure out how to do this. And so it worked out for our package, or for our group. We got number 6 and 7 of the wristband, and then we were free to leave. And so we hitched a fast Uber back to the hotel because I had to get into full Papa 5 costume that I had worked on for months leading up to the show. I had built the full skeleton cassock and like painted a 3D printed mask and did all the, practicing the makeup and a wig and like full costume and everything. And I've never been more stressed in my life than being in a hotel bathroom, trying to get that on and get back to the venue, knowing that at like 2 to 3 GTV comes out and I really wanted to try and get on it. So I was like, I have to be back by 2 o'clock. It's 1:30 now. I'm in the hotel and I have to get into costume and do my makeup and the wig and be back at 10 minutes away at the venue in this time. And my wife has to get into do a full face of makeup, which if anyone out there who wears makeup, doing a full face of makeup and like your hair and everything takes a while. We were both like 2 chickens with its head cut off. Shit. The hotel room was a massive, like everything left everywhere to get back. But we're like, we have our wristbands, and how it works is they'll line you back up and order your wristband. So we're like, cool, no more lining and everything. So we got back to the venue, we made it and we got in costume. We had to take an Uber and I was in full Papa 5. And the Uber driver was like, interesting outfits you guys got there. And I was like, thank you. And he was like, can I pull over and take a photo of you guys to send to my daughter? And we were like, yeah, okay. And so he pulls over and he takes a photo of us. And I just know that he was touching his daughter. Like, look at these 2 fucking freaks we picked up in Boston.
Look at these fucking guys.
Yeah. Look at the cat dragged in the back of my car.
Hey, hold my khakis. Like your khakis? No, my khakis. Your car keys. Okay.
With a haba.
Sorry, Baston. Sorry about that.
Pretty much. And so probably like, must be 2 of us, so we're getting in. Anyways, we get to the venue and we were going out to scout out the exclusive merch. Someone said like a merch tent opened up and we went to go see, and they had an exclusive design of Papa coming out of the Boston Harbor and like overlooking TD Garden in sparkly purple jacket. Great shirt. Aaron Lee's been killing it with these exclusive designs for these rituals.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys got a fucking exclusive shirt. Yeah. Texas didn't get shit.
And I didn't think we would. And I was looking at the merch tent and I was just like, that one's not standard. And I looked at it and I was like, that's the venue. Yeah. I was like, buy it. So we got there like a half hour before it opened and got in line. And thankfully we got one because they sold out fast. But it's a super sick design. I'll post a photo on like GonstFam, our Facebook group, and show that off. But that was great. And then we went over to like the VIP area where like people were kind of like congregating. And this is where Ron from GTV came out, who was I believe like second producer, something along the lines of that. I didn't actually ask what exactly he did. He said he's with GTV.
Is he the shorter gentleman with the longer hair?
Yep. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
And he came out and he was like, hey, I'm looking for 2 people who can like be on a game show for GTV. I wanted to be on it, but I was like, I don't know. I don't want to be the guy to be like, you know, hey, me. But my wife was like, this guy, pointing at me and making a scene.
Ratted you out.
Yep. And they were like, okay, cool. You. And they picked this very, very sweet 15-year-old girl who was next to me. And they were like, yeah, you 2 will be the ones that we go with. And they said, can you guys good with lyrics? And I'm thinking in my head, yes, I'm good with lyrics. Except if you're doing like a finish that lyric thing. Like, then I'm thinking in my head, under pressure.
I hate being put on the fucking spot like that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just giving a TED talk, I will talk your fucking head off. I will remember everything. I will give you the when, where, why, how of every fucking thing. But if I am asked out of nowhere, hey, do you know this, and this, or finish this, and I'm not prepared, or I'm not like my brain is not like wired. I'm like,
and you have camera in your face and people around you, like,
I'm that cat meme. I'm that fucking.
That's exactly how I felt. I was just like, oh, yeah. I was like, I've been a Ghost fan since the first album. I've loved these records. I know these songs. I do. And everyone was like, you're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it. And I was like, like you could put like I think I will, but you put me in the camera and it's like I don't know, when Vanessa's right next to me, I don't know if I'm going to be like, you know, on my game as if you were asking me, you know, in my home. And so anyways, I was stressed about that. And I was thinking it was going to be like a finish that lyric thing. But anyways, he took a photo of both of us and he was like, so I know which one you are. I can show it to Vanessa and I'm going to come back in an hour. And so for this hour, I was in hell of like stressed out of like, you know, am I going to remember it? Will I forget it? Like, what if I don't, like, what if I'll never ever live down not remembering the words to Pinnacle of the Pit or something like that.
Shit.
You know, or Square Hammer. Like if my brain farts and I'm like on like a song that I know so well, I've covered a bunch of times. I've like, you know,
it's like cramming for a fucking exam like an hour before. Yeah. Literally.
So I literally was going through. I was like, okay, wait. Oh, what if they're all songs from Skeleta? And I love Skeleta. We talked about that, but I don't know if I know. Like if someone like gave me a lyric from Umbra, was like, finish it. If I would remember which one is which, or like, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's so similar. And I was just like, fuck, okay. And so he comes back and I find out it's not a lyric game. It's name that tune. Biggest sigh of relief ever. That, like, it was like, the rules were like 5 seconds, 5 songs. And I was like, all right, cool. I've probably got this. Like, you know, I've learned every instrument on these recordings. Like, if they played me just the drums, I could probably pick out what song it was, you know?
Yep, same.
And so basically, Vanessa came out and producer Matt and everyone, camera guy, they're like, all right, cool. We're going to set this up and we're going to do a pickup shot. And they got me and this girl and Vanessa in the center of us. And they got this crowd of people behind us to line up. And my wife got to be in that crowd, which was awesome. So we were both in it. And understandably, Vanessa worked so sweetest soul ever, exhausted from touring. I can only imagine. And I feel so bad. And so we do the first take of this and welcome to Boston, you know, whatever, so-and-so, we're going to play an episode of, and they believe the game is called Nameless Ghoul, that tune. And she said, like, Nameless Tune, that Ghoul. And producer's like, nope, do it again. And she was like, to us, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so tired. And we were like, oh, don't even be sorry. Like,
right. I
can only imagine, you know, what you're going through and what, like, sleeping on a bus when you're not always doing, like, I can't only imagine since April, this leg, you know, we're at this already in, you know, Boston and the time zones and all that. And so we, you know, do the shot again, pickup shot's done. Good. So, and I'm in full costume and everything. And Vanessa comes up to me before this, I should mention, and she says, hi, Papa. And I said, hi. And she's looking around and she starts looking at my butt. And I'm like, did I sit in something? Like, what? And she's looking, and she's like, literally like around me, like looking at my butt with no explanation. And so I kind of like whipped around, like to see what she's doing. And she was like, "You don't have a tail." And I was like, "No, I don't." And she was like, "We haven't interviewed you before." And I was like, "No, you have not." And so that's what she was trying to see. So I guess they had interviewed another Papa 5 cosplayer who had a tail. And that was how they were differentiating. They weren't getting the same person on. But she was like freaking me out. I was like, did I sit in something? Because we were sitting all day, in line. I was like, I ruined my shot. Like, that would be the worst. And so, yeah. And then, they did the first girl and her questions and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. And I'm talking with Ron, and I was like talking about the venue and stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, it's been tricky because they're restricting a lot of the like locations and stuff we can do, and it's kind of hard to get around with no queue." Which I think might explain partially why the Boston GTV is only 5 minutes. With a lot of venue restrictions, because a lot of people are really upset about that, and I totally understand. I feel bad for everyone who got cut out of it. But the venue was not easy to work with, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And anyways, zooming through, we did the game. I got 5 out of 5. And I was like, yes, I must have won.
And for everybody out there listening, Anthony literally just did the Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. Like,
yep. Because I wasn't sure if I was gonna, and so I was like, awesome, sick, cool. And then they get us back over into like a little, Vanessa and Center, same for. And before starting filming, Ron goes to hand me 3 mummy dust dollars, which is the consolation prize. And Vanessa goes, no, not yet. And I'm like, did I lose? How did I get 5 out of 5 and lose? I was like, genuinely, like, I it's not a competition. I don't care if I lost, especially if, a young girl who's going to her first show, I would want her to have an amazing experience, But I was just confused. I was like, what? So they come over and they film it. And that was a fake out, because indeed I did win it. And, I was like, yes, thank you. And I gave Vanessa a GonstFM sticker, and we took a photo and everything. And then it was on to the actual show. And that was kind of my pre-show experience, but it really set the tone of like, I was like, the show could absolutely suck and I'm on cloud 9.
I agree.
Getting the prize pack and everything, and like getting complimented on my costume by Vanessa and everything was just like, that made the day. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better experience with that. And I was just really glad that was like the start of it, because I was like, cool, I already won,
Right.
And then we got in and they relined us up. It's really funny. We were lining up, and so there was a woman there, and she was like, I don't think the numbers matter. I'm going to go first. And we were like, fuck no, like the numbers on our wristbands do matter. And she got really mad, like annoyed when the VIP host came in and was like, nope, line up by the numbers. And yeah. And then they made us single file walk, no walking, running, like literal, like,
oh, you guys, I was gonna say, did you guys have to do a hand on your hip, one
down to the pit?
Oh shit.
Well, down to the pit, so that no one was, cutting in front of anyone while being watched. And shout out to our friend Richie Surency, who great episode of this show. Yep, we love we love Richie here.
Hey,
friend of the pod. I have a podcast I used to listen to. A friend is friend of the podcast. Whenever we're talking about someone who's been on the show before,
right? Exactly. Like, we need to get GonstFM friend of the podcast T-shirts for any guest that's been on the
friend of the
show.
Pod. Yeah, we should do that.
Shout out to Richie Surency's coffee brand that he like.
Yes,
that motherfucker, dude. That motherfucker. I got a sidebar real fast because this is funny.
Please.
He fucking shot me a text message. He was just like, "Hey, brother, you doing all right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You make it in okay?" Because he knew I was coming. I was like, "Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm here." And he's like, "Cool." He's like, "If I got time, I'll come say hi." Which I didn't expect to, because that man is busy like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not an hour later, there's just a no context ding, and it's a website for Big Richie coffee, and it's his coffee, and I just see his big bearded bald ass sipping on
beautiful
a tiny beautiful sipping on, like, it's a picture of him on the bag of coffee sipping out of this teensy cup that is like the size of his fucking pinky, and he's just like, I'm like, no shit, dude. And he's like, it's fucking good, bro. And I can hear him fucking say, it's fucking good, bro.
We love Richie.
Yeah.
What a dude.
Classy. I watched him hand a child whose first show this was, like, ever, in a Copia jacket, I watched this man hand him one of Randy's guitar picks and a mummy dust.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
That leads into why I brought him up is that he was holding everyone's hand to get down from the stairs to the floor.
Yeah.
He was waiting right by the floor as we were coming in, and he grabbed my hand and my wife's hand and helped us down the stairs and like made sure we were good from the moment we walked in, like total hospitality, and just didn't have to be there, but was, and I don't know for everyone who like where they came in, but for where we came in, the first sight we saw upon entering the arena was him.
Yeah.
Reaching his hand out to help us.
Coffee connoisseur, hand holder, and resident bra and panty holder on top of his head from Papa 5 dropping them onto him.
Absolutely. Yep. Which did happen at their show.
Yeah.
There was some bra, I think, or I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was a bra. Yeah, it was a bra at the show.
Shit was funny.
There's been so many undergarments thrown at these shows. I don't remember which ones
fucking
were
V.
which. V gets it all. Yeah, and he was exceptional for the whole show. Like all I had to do was put my hand up, and he would bring me a water wrapped with a mummy dust and a pick, and everything, make it rain mummy dust. And he took great care of this poor woman who was having some, I believe, heart issues in front of us, and never could say enough positive things about that man ever.
Absolutely.
So big shout out and appreciation to him because he made the show what it was, and then the show was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I figured we'd get together, in that, but
yeah, I just want to kind of give a little tiny rundown of my experience, getting to the show and stuff
please.
like that.
Sorry, mine was so incredibly detailed and long.
Mine's, you guys are going to be like, fuck yeah, Anthony. And then you're just like listen to my segment and you're like, God, you're boring. I think it's it's not even so much as just boring. It's like I drove there. I didn't do the VIP stuff, so I literally we drove in. We stopped off at a Chipotle. I sent you a photo that's now on our fucking Instagram, and it's like because you were just I saw this picture before everybody else did, motherfucker.
I was like, fuck you.
I fucking love it, but dude, first of all, shout out to my partner Lee for the Papa X makeup. That is the person. If you ever see me in Papa X makeup, they are the one that is responsible for it, and they fucking knock it out of the park every goddamn time. I cannot tell you how many compliments I got on that face paint when I showed up to the venue. And
shout out Lee in general.
Yeah, no shit.
Such a sweet human being.
Yes. It felt nice because they worried so much. They were like, I don't know if it's gonna be good. I'm like, it's always good. Shut up. It's like, it's good. Definitely shout out there because the makeup held up really well the whole night, which this was the true test. I've done photos and I've done videos. Shout out to our friend Shade, who is on the Macabre Maiden Metal cast. I did a Feast of Fools with them and TikTok Papa and a slew of other people in this video, and the makeup held well for that too. Anyway,
shout out all of our friends.
Yeah, no shit. And bro, when I tell you, I ran into a lot of people. A lot of people. First of all, shout out to my friends Stephanie and Dean. Stephanie's one of my best friends in this fandom. We talk every day. And they drove to Austin, and then they did the Dallas show, and then they did the Houston show, and they're from Dallas. And so they got 3 different Ritual sets. Papa from Ritual, the tribute band Ritual, was there. Shout out Papa C. You
always
beautiful bastard. Our friend Donna, who runs the Facebook group All Things Papa Emeritus. So if you would like to join that, it's called All Things Papa Emeritus. Go join it. It is a fantastic group of guesties and Ghost fans and everything in between. Check that shit out. Donna's fucking badass. Papa Dark on Instagram, Rebel Rain cosplay, total sweetheart. I was super fucking excited to meet Rebel Rain, and she noticed me. She was like, "Hey, dude!" I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she was one of the first people. I was like, "Can I have a fucking picture with you?" I was like, "Hell yeah, you can have a picture with me!" Hell yeah! I was excited as shit. Got to meet Papa Macabre, Jenny Cryptid. They're on Instagram as well. Great cosplayers, honestly. Marina, I got to see her. I didn't get to talk to her, but dude, she brought her Impera Papa outfit. Holy shit, dude. What a look. Marina has some of the coolest fucking costumes, dude. Oh my God.
I've known Marina for as long as probably back to 2017, and seeing everything, I remember the first time she did that stuff that got gifted to the band and everything, and just I'll always be in amazement of her work. And she's such a sweet soul.
Good human, honestly.
Yep.
And then friends of mine from our Facebook group, Tawny, Laney, and then my buddy Alex. Shout out Alex, dude. This dude and I went to a completely non-Ghost related show, and it was funny because we didn't even go together. We just both happened to go to it in Baton Rouge, and we recognized each other from Facebook, but then it clicked. It didn't click until like about maybe a half hour into our conversation. Like, oh shit, you're the one that does like the group and GonstFM and shit. I was like, yeah, man, it's me. So he was there. And shout out also to, after the show, we were going to actually meet Laney and Tawny downstairs at their hotel across the street. And we ran into a couple that was on a bench outside of the hotel, and they gave us some bracelets, and they got to talking with us. Twitchy Witchcrafts on Instagram. Go follow them, please. They gave me a Pro Memoria bracelet with a really cool like pennant thing on it. So yeah, I didn't get like a lot of candy. Like I got like meaningful candy though. You know what I'm saying? Like I got like
Did you get a sack full? Let's put it this way. I had to go to Michael's and buy a case.
This guy here.
And I don't know. Well, no, I do know why. It's because I was there from 5:30 a.m. until like after the show. So the amount of time, and even that, I had already gotten probably like 30 at the meetup the day before. So it was like 2 days worth of it, of like knowing I was going to meet up with people being, oh, what's your favorite song? I have so much that I was like doubling up on my arms. And I don't mean it in a bragging way. I mean it in a like, now I have to figure out what am I going to do with like, I got little beaded rats. I got like 3 beautiful rosaries. Ghost fans come out. They show out. Like, yeah, I have someone has a little rat with Papa paint painted on it that I got somewhere too.
Our friend Courtney makes these really cool custom pennants and necklaces and shit. And Papa C from Ritual like actually took one off of him and he put it around me, like gave it to me from her. Yeah. So it was really cool, like getting that. There's I've got a fucking offering plate full of candy over here. Like I swear it's just piled up.
It's so sweet.
Yeah. And so dude, it was just nice to see everybody. And then of course, like after the show, like got to meet my friend Sarah from our group and her kid, and it was really cool. Like it was his first show. I gave him one of the bracelets, and he got a mummy buck from one of our friends in the crew, and he was super fucking excited. And I love seeing that. The amount of diversity in a Ghost crowd is unreal. Like you have people from all walks of life, all ages, and it's cool because like you see some people that you wouldn't think would be into this band that are into this band, and then vice versa. Like I may have talked about this before on an older episode or maybe on a guest appearance on another podcast somewhere, but at the Re-Imperator last time that they toured, there was this old gentleman who showed up with Papa Nil face paint and a miter and a suit, and it looked just like Alan. It wasn't Alan, but it looked just like him. I was like, holy shit, this guy like really went all out. And I loved seeing all the battle vests with the patchwork, and like you can tell who showed up and they were an older fan, because I saw somebody that had like the 13 Days of Doom or however many days. Yeah, like they had like one of the first tour shirts. Somebody had one from the Opus tour. Somebody had one from like Imperator. Somebody had one from Infestissima. Like all the different like eras were there, like tour t-shirts. And I was like, this is so fucking neat. But I think this goes back to the other conversation we were having earlier about how the newer fans are going to carry this band forward. And
they are.
I would love to get into the concert proper, as far as like, which I don't think we'll spend a shit ton of time. Like I think everybody that has been to this show is, you've experienced the set list order and shit, like, but I would like to talk about song alternates and what songs you got versus what songs I got, and the placement of them.
And also how the new Papa is and the new staging and everything. And, I'd love to talk about some of the favorite moments, not every single thing, but
right. So the show, obviously it opens with, and I think this is great, actually, the way that they've kind of been consistent over the years, where like first it was like they would open all their shows with Masked Ball. Like this was like the old shit that they would open, with, but I think at least
for those who don't know, by the way, that's from Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah,
it's a great piece, and it's so, to me as an older fan, especially like an essential part of the rituals that I do miss a little bit. But if you listen to it, like you'll see why. If you've never heard it,
yeah, and I think for the past probably I don't know since 2018 at least it's had to have been since 2018.
I think since Meliora. Like Popestar, they had it going before.
I was talking about the one they're opening with now.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Go ahead. You're good.
And I'm gonna fuck this up. I know I'm gonna fuck up the name of this song because it's not even in Clara
in English. Yeah,
Clara Stilnor. Like that's by Jan Johannesson is like the piano thing that like most people like. It's because it's almost not silent, but they're playing like. Radio rock, whenever you're listening, or they're playing the shit that Tobias listens to, which is like, 80s metal and shit.
Heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It's the only song I remember from playing before. It was like...
And Misery Me Deus is the other one by, it's a Gregorian chant, which I think is hilarious because he gives us like that extra fucking 13-minute long one, because you just like, you lose track of time, which is the point. You lose track of time. Which it bleeds perfectly into Peacefield, actually. And there's something that I caught that I don't know, because it's weird because like I haven't heard anybody actually say this or talk about this, which kind of blows my mind. There is a whole ass like Kiss style intro at the beginning of this.
It's verbatim almost. I think it's something along the line of From Beyond the Twilight Zone, the best band in the world, Ghost, where you have Kiss. You wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. It's so similar.
Yeah.
It kicks in right at the beginning of Peacefield, and it's such a cool moment, which also, you have the curtain covering the stage, which also Kiss had.
The kabuki curtain.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. There's a lot of Kiss in this show, and if you look at, like, there's a photo on their Instagram of the road cases, and you can see photos of the Kiss Alive stage, and there's an interview with the production designer who talks like this is the best close somebody gets to designing a Kiss show, is what he said. So, like, there's a lot of that DNA of, like, old school, like, Love Gun Tour Kiss, like, which I know Tobias is a big fan of in this show.
Yeah, and
which I love.
Yeah, same. What I thought was neat is when they're doing, which it's a very long intro to Peacefield. He did that because like the drums don't kick in for quite some time, but that's when the curtain drops or whatever. You look on the video walls.
It's right up, first chorus. You go through that whole first verse intro and first chorus with nothing.
Yeah, and you're looking on the video wall, and because there's like a camera that's mounted on the like underneath the second to last stair going up the drum riser, and he's singing into that, like he's looking into it, so you can see Papa on the video wall singing this whole thing, and then when the curtain drops,
I couldn't.
Oh, well,
I knew that was happening from like other people, but like I think that's an interesting thing to bring up. You can't see that from Pitt.
Damn.
So you just get curtain. So that's that's the first part where our experiences differ for where you were, where I was.
Yeah, because I was first row, section 107 in my.
I was second row, like sent on the side of the walkout.
Hell yeah.
So.
But yeah, man, it was great. Peacefield translates very well live. Like I remember when the song debuted, people were like, like I remember it got a very lukewarm reception at first. Like, and it don't say that, not you. I'm talking people out there listening, and don't fucking say that it didn't, because I know it did. I seen your comments.
It's just separate ways. It's just separate ways by journey.
Yeah. No, it's Peacefield by Ghost, but it's great live. I thought the production was pretty good. Now that's another experience that you and I have that's a little bit different. You were telling me that the sound quality was sort of like there was a little more to be desired on that front, like the mix.
Well, this is more of an issue I think in general with Pitt, is that you're right up against the stage, and speakers are pointing out behind you, and in most cases, they're going to be a little bit either on par with you or, behind you. So you're going to get mainly drums, one, because they have a pretty silent stage with, no on-stage amps and all in-ears. And you're going to get it. So from where we were, the vocals were very hard to hear.
Gotcha.
You heard the crowd more. They sounded phenomenal. Like it sounded full, like everything I could hear, instruments, full clarity. The vocals, however, where I was, when he would yell out ad-libs in the songs, you had to watch his lips to figure it out. If you knew the songs, you could understand everything fine. It sounded good, but it was definitely further back. sound wise. Like I'm sure I've heard from other people it sounded great where they were, but from where we were, it was more I could hear it was everyone around me as opposed to Papa.
Yeah. I had a good mixture of both. I could hear the crowd getting like into it, but I was like in direct line with one of the hanging speaker racks, you know. So I got a good mixture of both, which was nice. But yeah, I think the new songs translate really well live. Peacefield's great. Lacrima, I think Lacrima, it's one of those songs where live, it sounded better live.
Yeah.
And just for me.
It's crushing. It's like unrelenting and crushing. Like the songs sound heavier. They sound, I mean, Lacrima always gave me Meliora vibes with that, like kind of reminds me of Absolution a little bit. It's just, it's a great track. But live, it just something about like, it really kind of struck me immediately. Like, you know, it's a different experience when you're there in person and everything, but like being second row where I was, he was right there, you know, and I could see the sweat dripping down his face, you know, and every facial expression in his veins. And just, it was like visceral to see this like vampire-ish, which is the thing with Papa vibe is there's heavy like vampire Nosferatu vibes while also this like the Count from Sesame Street, like he's goofy, he's silly, he's fun, but there's a great degree of like campy spookiness, you know. And there's something about him being right there on top of you that was like, it was almost every time he would look in our direction, his white eye would just like, it was scary, dude. It was like, because you know he's looking at you when his white eye is piercing into your like your soul, you know. And with the vampire vibes, it was perfect.
Yeah,
that song crushed for me. It was so much better live.
It was funny. I actually made a I think this might be on the GonstFM Instagram account and TikTok.
Oh yeah.
I made a Count Von Count Lacrima meme where Count Von Count is wearing the Papa 5 mask. It's pretty great actually, but he can only count to 4. So
they have the same laugh.
Yeah. Not Lacrima was giving, especially live, you know, we may have even spoken about this on our Skeletour review, but very heavy Alice Cooper sounding shit during that song live. Very good, very good shit. And Spirit, dude, so this is the 10th year anniversary of Meliora, which as of this recording today, they just dropped all the fucking Meliora merch because, hey man, they got to pay for that fucking boat fuel somehow to get back to Sweden. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're like, hey guys, we're going to frisbee like 10 record variants and like all these new old t-shirts with new colors, and here, go buy all of it, please. Let us get back home.
How else are they going to get the crucifix back to Sweden? That giant crucifix.
You know, it powers up with each tour date, so it can just it can fly.
It teleports back.
Yeah,
they fly back on it. It's their ride back.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. But Spirit into Perispera is the talk of the town, sir.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and I am very much team Spirit. Perispera kicks the shit out of Conclave Perispera, and to those that are naysayers, I say this: that's what these fuckers get for not playing Conclave Condio on this tour.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky enough to hear both of those songs a bunch of times live, and I've heard that transition live a bunch of times.
Right,
I love it. It's great. I'm over it.
Yeah,
I've heard it every tour since Meliora. That transition, pretty much, except for the last tour. Right,
yes.
But like this is better. It hits harder, and also speaking of Spirit, I thought I would not like. I was aware ahead of time from Friends Who Went that they had cut this theremin spooky intro to Spirit. Did not bother me at all in person.
I didn't miss it.
Getting right into it, you almost for a second are like, oh, what song is this? And then you're like, oh, it's Spirit when the drums come in, you know, because it just starts with that guitar part. And that's awesome. Like, I don't know. It's just something about this. It sounded heavier and meaner. And like, I've heard Spirit and Perispera live many times, and I'm very lucky for that because I know they're more rare songs now. But this is the thickest and like most mean I've heard these songs sound.
Yeah, there was
brutal,
big dick energy all around on the stage for these. Yeah, and it was
crushing.
Yeah, this was my first time hearing these two live, so I was especially excited to hear these. Look, everything from Infestissimum fucks harder live. Just throwing that out there, it really does.
Absolutely.
So this is the part of the set where we start getting some changes from city to city, because now, and I'm saying this as we're. The next 3 songs I'm going to list are interchangeable, and then the other 2 after those 3 are interchangeable. Depending on what city you were in, you either got from the pinnacle to the pit, Faith, Elizabeth, Majesty, Call Me Little Sunshine. That's, those are the ones. What did you get in Boston after Perispera?
Faith.
We did too. We got Faith as well.
Cool.
So that song was really good, which I didn't really want Pinnacle. I'd seen Pinnacle already. And I was like, well, I kind of was hoping. I knew we weren't going to get Elizabeth because I heard they had played it in Austin. So I was like, well,
I was hoping we'd get Elizabeth because it's one song that I've heard Faith and Pinnacle countless times. I've heard Elizabeth. Still, I'm very lucky. I've heard Elizabeth twice.
Right.
Before, back in the day. So, but I was hoping for that one.
Yeah. So I didn't get Faith on Re-Imperator whenever they came because I had actually looked at this. I'd actually looked at the set list on that one at the time that it was happening, and I had figured out, they're flip-flopping. Every other show they'd swap it because they weren't doing as many swaps on that one as they did with this one.
That was so much easier to keep track of what you were going to get based off of directly, and then there's no pattern.
Well, we were supposed to get Faith on Re-Imperator, but because the hurricane cancellation happened.
Oh yeah.
They just went ahead and went on with the show as was supposed to be. So they didn't I was just like, oh shit, okay. So we got Faith, and I was like, okay, cool. I can hear it finally in person. Yeah. And holy fuck, it was good. It was really great.
I was disappointed in the moment, as first was when I realized that we're getting Faith and not Elizabeth. Well, hey, I still love Faith live. It crushes every time.
Yeah.
And I love Papa's little ad-libs every night being a little bit different.
What did you guys get?
I think we got Butt Lickers.
I think we had something along the lines of that. We had something because that's the one part where I couldn't. I'm hoping that somebody out there listening knows what he said there, because I think it was crotch or something. He said something about crotch or something, and I was like,
I think I said crotch sniffer at one date.
That might have been what he said.
There's a lot of sniffing. Yeah.
Or butt munch or something like that.
No, I think that's what we got. It might have been that too. I don't remember. It was something like that. Something silly.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, for those of you out there that got Elizabeth, congrats. That's fucking great for you. Very happy for you.
Can't believe that's back in the set list.
Fucking A, dude. I shout out to my friend Beth from she's one of our admin team over at GonstFM. She got Elizabeth, and I know that
I've had so many friends get it, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, she was excited.
I'm luckily I have heard it before. I'm okay with not getting it. It didn't ruin my experience, but I was I'm just glad that it's back in general in the set list. And that it will be a song that isn't completely off the table.
So the next song, I know for a fact you and I both had different experience on this one, and it's weird because we both talked about this. We talked about this with each other, and we'll talk about it here. I was team I Want Majesty because I never heard Majesty, and I heard Call Me Little Sunshine at Re-Imperator. I didn't want Call Me Little Sunshine. In fact, I wanted the least amount of anything from Impera on this tour because I wanted album shit that I hadn't heard at this show. I know you got Call Me Little Sunshine because I remember you texting me oh, we fucking got Call Me Little Sunshine. And I got Majesty. Now, what's fun about both of these is that we got the same visual experience, but not the same song experience. And this is the part we can finally talk about on air, where it is the showstopper portion where Papa is put on a giant pedestal. He came down in a bubble, Doug.
Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
Wicked Witch of the East wing of the ministry, bro. I'm telling you, this motherfucker... I loved it. I loved seeing him in this contraption up in the air with that long flowing robe with all the smoke bellowing out from underneath him, floating Papa. Yeah. So a lot of no context memes are out there with SpongeBob hanging from the rafters of the Krusty Krab with the magician's outfit on. That's basically that's pretty much Tobias in a nutshell right there. He said, "Oh, what master?" So yeah.
It reminds me of an in real life version of the Opus cover, with Papa over the church.
Yes.
And it's kind of reminds me of exactly like that with the smoke and the fog, but instead of over the shipping cathedral, it's over, the drum set.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that. Even the coloring is kind of similar. It's like a purplish for where we were. I don't know what, I'm assuming it was probably similar.
It's like a blurple.
Yeah. Blurple, which kind of gives that Opus vibe.
Yeah.
But it's such a sick moment, dude. There's something about it that is so glittery and shiny in Vegas, but also very sinister. When Gene Simmons flies in Kiss shows, that big show-stopping moment of platform above, and I love the backdrop behind it. I don't know how well you could view that, but like the art on that is so cool. It really reminds me of like Peltor Named Death artwork and like the inside of the Brickell cover. And one thing I remember was, we got Call Me Sunshine, and he was gesturing to himself on like "Call Me Mephistopheles," which Cardinal or Copia Papa 4 would do, call sign to himself and stuff. But, there's a different energy when Papa 5 did it, which was like, no, I am the devil,
right.
Like, this is like, there was a real gesturing to like a gleeful, sinister vibe that he had of just like, it was really almost unsettling. Especially like being close enough to see the facial expressions and everything of like pointing to himself, like just so like a super villain. Like, no, it's like I am Mephistopheles. Like, call me. Like I am. Yeah, and I love that. And the guitar solo.
It's me, Jessica.
I knew that was coming up. Oh, you do this for so long, you know each other too well.
Yeah.
You can predict what's coming. But my favorite part was also the guitar solo happens. And he crosses his arms like a vampire and like puts his head down and plays dead, and the lights go on him, and he's just standing there like he's in a coffin, like dead. And it was one of my favorite moments because there's something so unsettling about it, but also funny, And then he came back to life afterwards, but it was just kind of like, he can't go anywhere. So he's just kind of like reverts to like mummy in a coffin.
Yeah, dude. The visual was fucking cool with Majesty. I'm not going to lie. Like having that gimmick on stage with that song, holy shit. Yeah. Majesty is one of my very favorite songs from Meliora, and
Mine
wow,
too.
It's heavy, dude. Like because at that part of the show, while Tobias is getting rigged into that system or whatever, Phantom is running around playing to the crowd, and
yep,
they
did that for Call Me too.
Yeah, and it was that moment I was sitting there just like, which is it gonna be? Which is it gonna be? I probably would have won the fucking song in 5-second game because as soon as the riff started, dude, I yelled yes, and Stephanie, who I mentioned earlier, was like sitting like literally on the floor seating like to the front and to the left of me, and I know she heard me because she fucking like just insert the TikTok fucking sound effect. She just fucking looked at me, and I was just like, I love this song. So, I freaked the fuck out, and it was amazing. That part of the show was fucking brilliant. I loved it so much. And after that is when we kind of move into more of the same, where it's Devil Church, Cerise,
which has a great moment that I must bring up, which is that curtain falling and revealing the cathedral set.
Let's talk about the LED backdrop on this set, because this is one thing that I thought was leagues above Re-Imperator. In fact, I made sure to mention to Vanessa and GTV after this concert that this was leagues above Re-Imperator, and to keep doing shit like this because it was fucking great. Visually speaking, if you didn't know, there was a screen back there. They hit it so fucking well that I knew there was a screen, but I totally was so engrossed with everything else that when it happened, I was like, holy shit.
It's an amazing moment in Cerise where the full intro of the song, heavy part, right? Then those hits, the curtain, kabuki curtain on the back drops down to reveal the entire cathedral, which spans now, unlike Re-Imperator or past tours, is 3D again, inflatable with the screen behind it, right? And it spans the entire stage because the screen kind of has like 3 panels where it kind of surrounds the stage a little bit.
Yeah, it's a curved
the back
screen
of it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And the set is too, where you have the 3 center panels like we've always had for Ghost, but also side center panels with other stained glass on it that transforms the entire stage into a cathedral, and the crucifix on the stage rises up during Devil Church to make the stage huge. It's really kind of intimate to start, and then it gets this huge satanic cathedral, and it's breathtaking when that reveal happens.
Yeah.
And Papa comes out in, this sparkly kind of Batwing type, you've seen it, is what he wears the Rolling Stone cover with the wings, and, sparkly mask and all. It's outstanding of a moment in the show.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic. And it's cool because that actually kicks off a quote act that happens, because the show is actually separated into 3 or 4 acts, but like a main 3. And this is the part of the show that takes place in the church because, first of all, before we move forward, I just want to like stop and say that I think Futures of Foreign Land live is such a banger.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It was so good to get that song. But throwing into this act, you get Cerise, and then the live tour debut, not literally this show or that show, but just the tour in general. You get the debut of Darkness at the Heart of My Love, which I think if you were going to play just one song from Ampera, this is the song, especially with its lyrical content and the meaning, the sinister meanings behind it, dealing with the church and, you know, just how pastors and true clergymen like prey on the feelings and the lives of people for their own gain.
And there's something so great about seeing this satanic backdrop and, you know, the satanic pope in front of it. You know, it's such a highlight with that song.
And what a good bleed into Satanized, actually. Like I would never have thought, I had
I didn't even think of that.
Right, but like doing the radio rituals, like I have to think outside the box and start thinking about shit like that. And then when I saw them do this and I saw it on paper for the first time, I was like, how is this going to work? And it does work if you hear how that song fades out and then the guitar riffs starting Satanized. It's perfect. And they're actually, I think they're in the same tempo, believe it or not. Like you can actually double time. You can double time Darkness at the Heart of My Love on the drums, and it actually equals out to the tempo of Satanized. So it does work. Yeah, it's fucking cool. And going from Satanized, which again, banger live. Don't care what anybody says. That's a fucking great song. This is the Opus section that I'm speaking about, because now you get to play roulette with Opus Eponymous. You either got Ritual, you either got Satan Prayer, Stand By Him, or Prime Mover. These are the four that were alternating in this. And
I must mention, he does such a great transition here, no matter what it is, of let's see how Satanized you are, going into their more satanically oriented album and catalog.
Yeah.
I love that. I've seen that from most of the shows, and it's awesome to see him do that.
What did you get
transition there? Prime Mover.
Fuck yes.
Again, not to sound ungrateful, I was very happy with that. I got that on Imperator. I was one of the shows that got that Imperator. So I did just hear that like last time I saw them. But I'll never complain about getting Prime Mover. I would take Prime Mover over Ritual any day. I would take Prime Mover over... If I had to pick from the songs that they're doing from that little Opus run, Prime Mover would probably be my number one pick. So I was not at all complaining about that. I was overjoyed when I've heard that start.
Yeah, that's the one I was hoping for. My second choice would have been Stand By Him, because like I think that's just it's it's a good four on the floor, like real banger.
That's one I've said for years. I don't know why that ever got dropped from the set list for arenas.
Right. Ritual's great, but I heard it already. Like it might be a hot take here, but
it's overplayed,
and I didn't want it. Like I straight up was sitting there. I was like, I don't want it.
It's their most played song live, and I've heard it
every tour
countless times. I don't need to hear it again. I don't need to hear give me something else. Yep.
Yeah. We got Satan Prayer at this show in Houston. Cool. Oh, fucking dude, it was so good though. Like that's the thing. I was satisfied because it was one of those. You know, it was one of the ones that I was like, well, if I don't get this one's fine. This one's fine too. So Satan Prayer is great live. The only thing that sucks, and I'm hoping you had a different experience here. Nobody knew the fucking words. You could tell who knew the words though, because we were all fucking
the GTVs for what they're doing. I think Satan Prayer. He's teaching people the words in it. I think it's Nashville. You can hear when Vanessa's talking in the background. If you listen close, you can hear him go, "Here are Satan Prayer." It's awful. But that I will say with Satan Prayer, they played that in 2019 when I saw them in the arenas. Same case. Well, no one knew the words then.
Yeah, I think this goes back to the conversation once more, where it's like we're seeing the newer fans that came in from the TikTok boom going to be carrying this band forward, because there's a lot of I'm calling us old heads. Listen to me. There's a lot of old heads like us that we know the catalog, but there's a lot of people that only know Melior Forward, and even then it's only a select
people at the shows who were like, I just heard of them last week and I had to see the show. Like, I don't know any of the old stuff. Like, there's a lot of casual fans who are just discovering the band. Skeletor is their first foray into Ghost. Mariana Cross might be their first foray, and they don't know the older stuff.
There's a lot of people.
Prime Mover went over well, but I can't say I heard a lot of people singing along.
Right.
From upper sections. So it wasn't too dissimilar, I would imagine. It started, and interestingly, in the arrangement, the guitar player, Ghoul Soto, or Duo, whatever you want to call him, he plays it differently live. He's been doing it since last tour too. Imperator. He plays it with a wah pedal. That intro, like heavy distorted wah.
That's cool.
That opening guitar part, which is cool, but I think a lot of people didn't recognize what it was when it started because the arrangement is different than the studio version. It's a lot more just kind of like washy, almost shoegazy of an intro before it kicks in.
He's Kirk, damn it.
yeah, he loves that wah. I noticed throughout the whole, like he's using it on every solo he can, you know. Even at last tour, Conclave, he was using it, but like it definitely made it sound a little bit different than like how it originally sounded. And so I don't think people fully got it, but once the bass kicked in that moment hit so hard. He was right up in front of us, literally inches away. And it, you know, it was like perhaps the highlight for the show for me. And Papa brought back the Opus monologue of like, "Are you ready to gaze into the eyes of the prime mover?" You know,
oh hell yeah!
Which I remember seeing that video all the time of them at like that Heritage Hunter tour, and him being, you know, Papa One growling out that exact line, and to hear, I think what exactly he said was like, "All right, Boston, let's see how Satanized you are when you have to gaze into the eyes of the prime mover," and they started it, and it was just like so sick and ominous, and like it hit my old fans in the feels. Of like, I remember seeing them in a small club and hearing that song and hearing that exact intro. So it was just like that was great for me.
Fuck yeah.
And that really kind of made the night too.
And then after the Opus Palooza, if you will.
the Opus Popus party.
Opus Popus party of one. We get Papa rising from underneath the stage on a little lever piece or like a flooring piece that rises up, and he's got the cowbell because Umbra is about to play. Which that was fun, you know. I mean, there's nothing. It doesn't. I don't want to say like, I'm just glossing over Umbra, but like that's, you know, the cowbell is the gimmick of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the cowbell.
I will say one thing I loved about that is the extended outro with the guitar solo from Phantom.
Hey, Phantom.
That is,
dude. Yeah. You fucking ripped. I just want to say this.
So good.
The motherfucker might not even hear this, but I'm just gonna pretend like he is.
Yeah,
dude, you fucking killed it. And honestly, between Anthony and I's opinion, I really think Phantom Ghoul was the MVP of this entire fucking show.
Oh, absolutely. And to let him get that lead there at the end, like I was like, oh. And at our show, I know he probably improvised a little bit. He pulled like the Love Gun ending solo riff that like almost like note for note.
And that's what he played at our show too.
Yeah. And it was awesome. It's just like it hit so hard, and he was up on the, you know, like right in front of us on the platforms, like, and he was throwing picks and stuff, and just killing this ending solo, showing that now in the band there's two killer lead guitar players, whereas it's always been a little bit like, you know, one's a good pretty lead guitar player and one's the shredder. They're both shredders, and they both can rip in their own way and hold their own. Like if something happened to Soto, he could step in and be lead in this band any day. You know, and 100%. That was really cool to see and get that case, you know.
Yep.
And he can sing too, you know. And he didn't at this show, but like you go on his Instagram, you know, now they're open. You know, it's awesome to see. Like that's a real versatile member in that band who who should stick around.
Yes, please. So I do want to point out that during most of this set, our boy Storm, I want to just say how much I love this motherfucker. I love the stage presence. This is the goblin energy I'm here for.
He was doing gang signs at our show. Dude. He was on his knees doing gang signs and like stancing up at people and just growling. Like,
I love it.
I love motherfucker.
I looked at Lee and I was like, hey, this is my cat. I said, this is Otis. Yeah. And then they were just like, yes, it is. Because our cat Otis Eponymous is a very hulking 20-pound black cat, and he is the cat, but that's what I thought of when I looked at Storm. I was like, dude, it's like my cat. He's just like fucking. Yeah.
And his vocals are amazing. It adds so much depth. Like,
yes.
Nice. In Umbra specifically, like, you know, he does the In the Shadows line with Papa and adds this real dark richness to it. That sounds phenomenal.
I'm so happy you said that. I'm so happy you said that. That's literally the reason why I brought him up.
And also, I didn't even mention it, but yeah, Call Me Little Sunshine. He did the Call Me, you know, and it was so good. Like it was awesome.
But yeah, then we move over to year zero, dude. With
I can't wait to talk about this,
bro. What a show-stopping costume piece that this is. Like,
and for me, I was wearing my version of it, and Papa 5 came up to the edge of the stage, and he's singing the first verse of the song after he appears from like thin air in this fucking awesome costume, and he pointed at my costume, stared me down from where I was, and on the end of the first verse for the first chorus, and pointed and like, made a gesture and then walked off. And I was like, and everyone around me looked at me like, he just saw your costume and pointed at it. And I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. Like,
it's like he's pointing at you and everybody just sees him pointing at you. And everybody's like, yeah, he just pointed at me. Fuck yeah. And then like it just cuts to like his point of view where he's just like,
yeah,
that fucker stole my shit.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what it was. It was like, because it was on the, the words that you will learn. He was like, I'm Papa, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny. But it was really funny because like, there was a couple other people dressed up, but no one was dressed in the full cassock. Yeah. And at least there were in the stands, but not like in the first couple of rows. So it was kind of a cool moment where I was hoping something like that would happen, and it exceeded my expectations.
I pictured the Ghouls being like little Nicky. Hey, Papa, some dude just stole your shit. Like,
I wanted it for myself.
Fucking hell. But yeah, Year Zero was fucking great live, dude. Just seeing that get up, the cassock, the fucking miter, just we've gone into detail about this actual costume on our Skeletor era, like Masks of the Evil Ones series. Like, go check that out. Actually, cheap plug for our own stuff. But
he feels so sinister here,
Yeah.
And there's a different energy. I don't know if you picked up on it from the previous Papa. Papa 4 is very kind of sassy and playful, and there is that here too. But at least for the show I was and from where I was, there's a much more assertive, kind of serious vibe to it. Well, it's still silly, like, and I'll give an example. Like, the end of the song, Phantom comes in front of Papa. Copia used to, like, bunk him on the head and, like, kind of, like, angrily shuffle off like a toddler. Here, it's much more of a kind of just pissed and irritated.
He fucking dresses him down, dude. Like, the way he just fucking looks him up and down, like, really?
Yeah. And it's a different vibe. It's less like throwing a tantrum and much more like, we're going to have a talk about this later,
Yeah.
Just another discuss.
You may or may not slip on a banana peel backstage, you bitch.
Yeah. And throughout the song, the ghouls are in the, like, earlier in the beginning, Papa goes up to Rain, bass player Ghoul, and is, tells him to move, and he shakes his head no. And he tries to tell him to move again. He shakes his head no, and so he has to go around him. It's like the ghouls are all defiant. There's kind of it's a different energy, and it's like very to Tobias's credit. This character feels different than Copia. There's a lot less, and we'll talk about in the show in general. A lot less talking.
Yes,
it's a lot more streamlined, and there's a lot more of kind of like this reminds me of like if you took Papa 3 and put Papa 3 in arenas.
Right.
And like how that would probably evolve as opposed to it's a little less goofy and silly to me and a little more like it's certainly there, but there's a better balance that I think works for what you want from Ghost.
Right. It makes the funny parts mean more, honestly.
Yes.
That's what I love.
Always a joke. Yeah. And when those jokes come, they hit hard. But he can also be the spooky Papa that you wanted from, Papa 1, 2, and 3, that sometimes was hard to get from the more kind of slapstick of the Impera cycle.
Yeah.
And this song was one of those songs that just felt like old school Ghost.
And then it moves over to He Is, which this is the part of this act where the chapel is built, the church, background on the screen. We have beautiful artwork, and somebody pointed out that during like the part of it where the devil is on the stained glass, there's Papa 4 with bat wings just chilling at the top.
And it's the one they had in Square Hammer for Right Here Right Now too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in color now. But it's such a cool artwork, and then it shatters as you were getting to.
I love that so much.
With that last pyroblast.
Dude,
and there's actual like fireworks that go off too, like rockets.
Yeah,
not just the fire.
Yeah,
and a big boom.
Yeah, and it
you feel in your chest.
Yeah, it all shatters, and so that's a concussion for those of you out there that don't know.
Yep.
That's literally what it's called.
Yes.
So it literally burns to the ground, and I thought a nice touch was on the back end of the stage. They left small fires burning.
Yep.
On the stage because. As He Is comes to an end and the church is destroyed, there's nothing but like apocalyptic land, just waste. And
now they use the LED screen as like a green screen basically for the rest of the set.
Dude,
to transition them into different places.
what a great time to put Rats in the set. It's very fitting. I quite enjoyed it, actually. Like, because I was like, well, Rats, I mean, I love Rats. It's a great song. I was like, is it really going to work here? And then it wasn't until I put the song with the visual and then everything happening, I was like, oh my God. I literally felt like I got transported to Cornucopia era, pre-Kel. Like, it was the hues of red in the background and the barren waste and the fire on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And
it looks like the video.
dude,
you know, like where everything's just the wasteland and dancing through it. And at our show, I apparently was a debut of them starting to use a new backing track during it, which is the growl with the echo.
Yeah.
Which I think they used for the rest of the dates after that, but they weren't before, apparently, according to people who had been there at every show from it. And that was such a cool little thing, is that like when he growls that Rats, it echoes out after.
Yeah, Rats is a great live song, and the way they just kick into it. I don't know why I was expecting Ashes. I thought Ashes would have been a nice touch right there, actually, if they would have thought to bring it back. I thought it would have been cool, like, coming out of He Is, and then the background and all that shit. But I loved the way that he talked to the crowd before Kiss the Go-Goat.
Mm-hmm.
He did the whole thing where he was just like, oh, I would line you up, give you all a kiss, you know. It was fucking funny.
Yeah, and then at the end of that song, he like took forever to kiss every single person. Give everyone a kiss.
Yeah. You all get to kiss. He was like Oprah with this shit.
You get a kiss, and you get a kiss, and you get a kiss, and you get a goat.
Yeah, exactly. If everybody looks under their seat right now, you all get a kiss. What an asshole. What a fucking asshole. And obviously, like, nothing really has changed from the set really past year zero onward, because this is kind of like a repeat of like last time.
Monster Squawk.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's really not much that's changed. Like, if you go back to even before.
But other than that, you know.
Yeah. So Mummy Dust was really obviously like another highlight. You know, that's always a highlight of the show. You get the Mummy Bucks, and you get the guitar solo, and you get the Repugnant-esque vocals from Tobias once more. So that's always fun live, honestly.
Can't imagine without it.
And then we have Monstrance Clock to close out the main set, which, again, is nice. It translates well live. It's nice to see that song circulate back into the set list.
Yeah, my hot take I've had for a while now is that, for me, a Ritual is not complete without it. Like, it needs to be there some way. It's such a perfect ending song back in the day, and it fits so well where they have it now. And it's a nice, you know, it hits really great live, and I love that little vocal run he does at the end that he doesn't always do. And the visuals are awesome.
Yeah, I love the visuals on the screen. Yeah, all the words to the song.
It sounds great. It sounds better live now than it has almost ever. It was real powerful, and everyone was singing along, you know.
Yeah,
and if you didn't know the words, the lyrics were on the screen. So
yeah, and I think that's a testament to this band, like the live band right here. Like, this is just coming from somebody who has seen a few members of this band in the last touring lineup, and now we have a couple of new Ghouls, and I don't think that this band has ever. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I have ever heard this band more well rehearsed and better sounding tightness live than now. So good. I agree. So good.
The last time I heard Monsters Clock was like Pale Tour, Ultimate Tour, whatever it was. Yeah, no, Pale Tour, and it didn't sound this good live. You know, so
yeah. So we're getting. The encore that we get is the exact same encore from Right Here, Right Now, from Imperator, Re-Imperator, and everything. Like Mariana Cross, Dance Macabre, and Square Hammer. It's like the ultimate trilogy of death closer. So it's not like
it slaps. It's good, but there's not much to talk about.
No, there really isn't, because I mean, he even gives us the crucifix pose at the end in the purple jacket, and the fireworks that are going off that, which I do think was a really nice touch. There's the giant ghost logo that comes down, the like neon,
just like Kiss again.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the part of the show where they put the cameras on the crowd, like when they do Square Hammer, like it's on the crowd. They're showing really cool. Like, yeah, bro,
seeing myself up there.
Look, I just want to throw this out there. If you were, I hope to God you're listening. I hope to Satan you're listening. I hope to every deity that you can ever possibly come up with or think of, that you were listening to this podcast and you hear my voice say this shit. There was a lady, if you were at the Houston, Texas Ritual, there was a lady who was just not having a good time during this song. And I don't mean it in the sense of like, oh, she was in peril or she was having a bad time, like she was crying. I'm talking, this woman was making the stank face of all fucking stank faces, just like ultimate Karen named death. God, dude.
We had something similar, kind of, if not maybe even worse. We had someone get caught with a phone. There was a moment where
did they have a woman shit moment?
Yeah, she drops it. She gets put on the screen and she's recording and then drops the phone.
Please tell me the crowd went fucking ape shit. Like in a funny way. Like they were just like,
yeah. It was awesome. And I saw people talking in like the Facebook chats after, like, did you see the woman with his phone get totally fucking caught on camera? Like,
fucking burn. God, I love it.
Don't break the rules.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
And you won't get caught.
I don't know if he gave like a similar speech like towards the end of you guys' set or whatever, but he definitely did talk about how like they did all these shows and they came a long way and they came all this way to Houston to put Soto's boot up our ass.
Yep, he did that. And he also asked someone in the crowd, like, was anyone at the first show we played in Boston at the Middle East, and listed all the venues that they played at. And some guy was like, yeah, I was there at the first show. And he was like, how was it? Because I wasn't there.
That's funny.
In character and everything.
Hell yeah.
And they give a similar thing about, like, I think he said he broke his foot from kicking our asses too many times.
Yeah, that's it. I do want to point out, I thought, so there's like kind of like a headcanon that's going around where people are calling Papa Five Mama because he does say this line, one more time for Mama. And for me, that's a total like Sister Imperator reference, like his mom, because he references his dad when he's like, oh, here's a song my dad used to sing. And it's like, fuck yeah, Daddy Neil. Like, fuck yeah, Daddy Neil, fucking sing that shit.
Well, she's passed on, you know, and I'm sure that if we're talking in lore and in character, that's got to weigh heavily on. The only reason probably he's in the position he's in is kind of a chain of events from, cool, sister's gone, someone's got to step up.
It has to be you,
head of Corgi, and someone's got to be on the road, So I'm sure that, regardless, that this is kind of an honor for the characters. This is a tour for her memory, of what she started.
Lest we forget, the first tour like signage for this was a family portrait floating in the water with the Cape Fear like reference. So,
and it comes right off the heels of the last in-person event for most of us as fans was her memorial, know, and everything. And the end of Right Here, Right Now is very shaped by that. So I think that's a really touching kind of moment that brings it together of like something we all kind of can relate to, our moms, and putting us where we are.
Yeah. And that was the last date that I was at, was the Houston date of the Skeletour. So that felt super special. Honestly, I've been to opening dates for tours. This was the first time I've been to the last show of a tour. We're getting 3 Mexico City dates. There's speculation. I'm not speculating anything more than Mexico like really loves Ghost, and they've sold the arena out twice, and they opened up a third night for more fans to go, because there are a lot of people that will travel to Mexico City that are in Mexico to see this band, and it's been proven because they've done it before. Same venue. Yep.
They were there last tour.
Yeah. So let's hope the Mexico crowd gets some. I hope they get different shit. Like I was sitting there like, maybe they'll get conclave, because it always goes over.
Just
really
give them 20s. Give them 20s.
Yeah.
He promised it next time they're there. Give them 20s. I think they'd kill it.
Yeah, they've got a month until, you know what I'm saying? Like they're going back in September. So there's plenty of time.
Maybe they'll get a little, like, I don't know. Like I know there's definitely another U.S. tour coming. There's some dates showing up on a local radio station near us, said that they're coming here next year. From the head of our local Live Nation chapter and stuff. So it always sneaks through. So I imagine maybe they'll give them a little preview of like what the next tour set list.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So Ghouls, Ghoulettes, Guesties out there, keep your eyes peeled for 2026. I am pretty fucking sure that we'll be getting some dates announced at least by the end of the year.
Year's end for sure. Especially because I imagine, like, from what I'm hearing, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a tour in the spring.
Like March or some shit.
Yeah. Because I know that like Live Nation CT, which is like our head of our whole Live Nation division, said that they're coming to Mohegan Sun in, I think, March. So had that be the case, I would expect tickets to be on sale for that potential tour.
Christmas.
Probably hitting more of the West Coast where they didn't really hit, on this cycle. and probably Canada as well, and all that, and a full North American tour hitting some of those areas they didn't hit.
Yeah,
probably announced by like I could even see like Halloween or Christmas time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. And then on top of it, we already know there's a rumor going around that Ghost is signed to play Download Festival, and I know typically what happens.
Summer festivals.
Yeah, I was gonna say typically what happens for anybody out there that's a new fan that is not familiar with how Ghost does their touring cycles, and Anthony can attest to this because he's been around for a long time in the fandom. Old motherfucker. Just kidding. No, typically Ghost will do a tour, then they'll take a break, and then they'll come back, and then they'll pick up most of the cities that they didn't get to on the prior tour, and that includes another like probably European run. However, I believe the European run almost always consists of more festival circuit like shit.
Yep.
So
yeah, like last cycle, and they come to the US a lot, and I say that because a lot of people were like, oh, I couldn't afford tickets this time, or like I couldn't get date off or work off or whatever. Last Impera cycle, they came to New England 4 times before the cycle was over. Like this area of Massachusetts, Connecticut, like that area, they came here 4 times. So they will be back. You'll have another chance to see them if you missed out on this tour.
Yeah, they came to Houston twice. I say Houston. They came to the Houston metro area twice. They came to the Woodlands for the Re-Imperator, but then whenever they did the regular Imperator with Volbeat, they went to the Smart Financial Center in Sugar Land, Texas. So I think that's about it for...
Pretty much.
Yeah, for this Skeletour review. I mean, man, fucking Ghost just haunting the world one fucking city at a time. And hopefully, I want to say this, I want to put this out there into the internet land and also just into the universe, period. Guys, Ghost, Tobias, Loma Vista, everybody, please go to fucking South America for our friends down there. Please go to fucking Brazil. Yep. Please go to fucking Canada. Please do more Mexico dates. Please do more of Europe that didn't get any dates. Please go to Japan. Because, like, you guys have fans over there, too. If it's possible to go to Japan, do some Japanese tour dates.
Absolutely.
Give our friends around the globe a real world tour. But especially South America, Brazil. Like, those guys have been clamoring for fucking years for you guys to go down there. Please go there.
I just want to say, too, as we're closing this out, this has been a wild journey for me over the last, however many years, 12 or whatever, since, I've been listening, seeing them at the smallest venue that we have here in Connecticut, where I've played 100 times with my local band for the first time, to seeing them headline TD Garden, a 20-plus capacity venue. It's amazing and beautiful.
Yeah, it's wild seeing this little band, as we've spoken with Niels Nielsen a couple of episodes ago, talking with them, all the small clubs that they would play, these small like venues they would play in Sweden, and now, they've made their way over here to the States. They started playing smaller clubs and opening for other bands, and now they're doing their tours without an opening act and doing these big arenas, and hopefully there's bigger venues to host for these guys, maybe in the next 5-6 years, because we don't know after this entire run is finished at the end of 2026 when they're going to come back. So I'm hoping, that this is going to be like a big year. We're hoping 2026 is going to be Ghost's biggest year and gives them a reason to come back with a hopefully even bigger production than we've seen on Skeletour, which by and large,
let's get a Kiss level show.
Yeah, dude,
Pyro, blow off the roof.
Fuck yeah. And by and large, bigger than Imperator, Re-Imperator was. By far. Loved it. For past, present, and future episodes of GonstFM Off Air, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. You can leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave us a rating and leave comments on individual episodes on Spotify. And if you're listening to this episode on our YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking the bell for notifications for future episodes, leaving a like on the video, or leaving a comment down below. Any engagement helps. If you would like to come to a future GonstFM Station Head radio ritual, if you'd like to follow us on our social media accounts, or if you'd like to join the official Facebook groups GonstFam or Ghost Cosplay, all of this information can be found via our Linktree link in the show notes below. And so, our dearest Gonslings, that brings this week's episode to a close. Some of you we will see in Internet Land, and the rest of you we will see in GonstFam. Take care of yourselves, and remember, until next time, in Gonst, we tronst. I'm Papa X.
And I'm Uncle Ghoul.
And we'll catch you next time.